Thank you. Thank you so much, James, for introducing me and having me on this panel discussion. Thank you very much. And first of all, good afternoon, everyone. I'm very much excited to see this, huge gathering of students which are participating here. And thanks to my logic team who have, done considerable efforts in getting all of you here under this umbrella. So thank you, James, for all these efforts. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think yeah, so you have raised a very important kind of starting. I would say you have given some starting thoughts and ideas to this discussion. I mean, students who are here, they must be having a lot of dreams and a lot of goals and would like to have all these fancy gadgets and all those bikes and equipments and all that. But, all of this requires cash, all of this requires money. And already they are, studying, paying fees and studying in various institutions. So there is an amount of some expense which is already going there in their education. So it becomes quite tricky for the student community to again go to their parents or friends and all and then ask for some additional funds for all these things. So yes, definitely it is very, very important for us to be financially independent, financially savvy right from the beginning. But I would say how many of us, really understand the meaning of being financially literate and all. So I will start from there probably. But first, James, if you have some more thoughts here.
Especially now, as you see the crowd here, they are
Yeah.
people who are in the last stage of their education or are first stages of their career. They have
Mm.
started to earn. They completed their learning. Now they have to learn how to spend it in the best possible way, because that's where we have to start till
Correct.
our retirement. Now, sir,
Absolutely.
my question, or representing the entire student community here, how financial literacy will be impacting a person's financial habits. It can be its saving mentality as well as impacting mentality. For example, like how should the students or people understand, is that product what I need, or is that product what I want? So how to prioritize that? How financial literacy will help us in doing that? And that should make us a habit, I believe.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, I would say. Thanks for asking that. But as I said, I mean, before we begin, I mean, do we really understand what is the meaning of being financially literate? You know? Is it about crypto, futures and options, or AIF, or gold ETFs? Does financial literacy mean all of this? Yes, it does to some extent. But when we say that we should be financially literate, I mean, I think it means about, the very basics of money. Okay. Like what is a fixed deposit? What is a return which I am getting on my capital? What is compounding? What is discounting? Huh? Like time value of money. What is a check? What are the cash flows, incomes, expenses, and many more things. So these are the basics, which which uh, which which lead to which we when we say about financially literate. So we need, these are the building blocks of being financially literate, and these are the basics which we need to understand. Now, coming back to your question, how financial literacy will impact a person's financial habits. So I that financial literacy, it empowers individuals to take control of their financial future and leading to a more secure and prosperous lives. Uh, like, for example, it will equip individuals with the knowledge to make informed decisions about their money. This includes understanding the meaning and understanding the importance of, budgeting, managing debt, recognizing the benefits of saving and investing. So people who are financially literate, they are more likely to save regularly. They understand the importance of having an emergency fund, for example, saving for future goals, for example, like future goals, future financial goals, like, buying a home, going on a vacation, buying a bike or retirement, and so on and so forth. So being financially literate is helping you in all these things. Then the individual people who are financially literate, I think they are better in navigating the complexities of investing. Okay, they can evaluate, like I was saying, they can evaluate different investment options, whether it is FD, whether it is equity, whether it is direct equity or mutual fund, and they can understand risks. And all of this, they can make better choices, choices which align with their long-term financial goals. So that is another point there. And with a good grasp on financial concepts, individuals can avoid using unnecessary debt and manage the debt more effectively. Like, say, for example, a very common example, we all use credit cards, right? Now, credit card is kind of a easy money. We just take it out, spend, and then done with it. We know the bill will come in a month's time. But then what happens if we don't pay that money in a month's time or when the cycle is due? It'll add a tremendous, it'll add interest on your dues at a very high rate of interest. So, so being financially literate will help you, in considering all of these and managing your all your saving, in managing all your expenses more effectively. So I think all of this will kind of help you in your financial journey if you are financially literate.
Yes, yes, that was indeed a very insightful thought of yours. Very thank you for that. So adding on to that, a country like India, where there is a population of almost 140 crores, it's very sad to know that only 2% of the population is aware of the various avenues like the stock market or the mutual funds, which gives an indeed an increase of return. But do you see, especially for financial professionals like CFPs, is it a very big opportunity or it is a challenge? Because it's to empower them, to make them aware about these are the avenues that are open to you in order to make you grow financially. So, what is your
So I would say that, it is both. It is both an opportunity and kind of a challenge also. You know, Opportunity in what sense? I would say that, as you know, uh, the disposable income in the hands of the Indian population is going up. Our people who were in the, I would say, middle class are now in the upper middle class, and people who are below poverty have now moved to lower middle class, and so on. And even the rich, the HNI, the ultra HNIs, the numbers are going up. So with all this wealth coming in the hands of the Indians, do we really have the numbers? Do we really have the kind of people, the number of people who can guide these people on their financial matters, on their wealth management aspect? So sadly, no, as on date. So that ways, I think there's a huge amount of opportunity for financial professionals. Today, we have like about 3,000 odd certified financial planning professionals here. But is it good enough? No, I would say that considering the amount of the India is doing very well. I mean, with close to 7% of GDP. So we need many more financial planners. So it's an opportunity for finance professionals. Now, coming to Why is a challenge? Because you see, a vast part of our population is not financial savvy, is not financial literate. So, to move this population, to give financial literacy, to make them understand the concepts of money, the simple concepts, is a big challenge. So, it's a challenge and an opportunity, I would say, as I look at it in today's context.
So adding on to that, even we could see after the lockdown or after the demonetization, we have seen that the number of people who have been given financial literacy, even though they are not certified, like the YouTubers, this is making people into a wrong method of earning money. It can be the MLM, because we could see 100 crore scams happening in the MLM system. That means a lack of professionals in this field is giving opportunity for someone else who use this knowledge in a bad way, that is indirectly affecting all the economy. I think the numerous scams that are there are indeed actually is something that a CFP professional can tackle and make sure that the people are learning the correct one and by the official people. Sir, and so adding on to that, and of course, as a follow-up, sir, we all are eager to understand the importance of CFP in India to meet this growing demand or the thirst for financial freedom. As I could see, there is a period where most of the lives of people who are there in the late 20s are on credit cards. They may not be able to plan, or maybe when it comes to a housing loan, or when it comes to building or renting a bike or a sorry buying a bike or a car or a very big investment, they go for it without seeing anything, without having a plan whether I am having the capacity to get it done or pay it back, and later on bankrupt and putting their mind in that stress during the period of mid 30s and mid 40s, and in one way affecting their health and other. So, how do you see that CFP professional will be able to meet this growing demand or thirst for financial literacy and planning?
Thanks. I think another very great question, great question, James. Thank you for asking that. I think financial planners, they can play a crucial role in meeting the demand, the growing demand for financial planning in India. For that, I think they can conduct workshops, webinars, seminars, to educate people about uh, how to manage their finances, how to manage their investments and retirement planning and so on, taxation and so on. Meaning what? That meaning making them educating them and making them aware of this important concept of financial literacy. I think also they can also contribute by offering tailor-made financial advice, financial plans. Uh, Doing this, the planners, they can help individuals and families create customized financial plans which can meet their specific goals and which can meet their set of circumstances so that they are able to meet their life's financial goals. And what will happen by this personalized approach? I think it will ensure that clients receive relevant and, to their point, to specific financial advice, financial guidance for them. So also, I think financial planners, they can leverage the software and the tools which are available today, and for their benefit and for the benefit of the public. So technology, it can help the planners analyze a tremendous amount of data which is available, and it can give you a lot of good insights, and then you can create data-driven advice from there. So I think these are some of the areas through which the financial planners can use can speak about the importance of being financial literacy, and they can use all of this to create I think to raise the level of financial literacy in their own friend circle, in their own community, in the masses. These are some of the areas. I mean, there can be many more. I mean, but These are some thoughts here, how we can, together as a financial planning community, come forward and educate people.
Yeah, thank you, sir. My next question is on the technology. As you see, the UPI has made a tremendous revolution in the country, where I recently read a report that per day UPI transaction is equal to the population of the whole European Union. That's the UPI transaction numbers in the country during the last few months. So adding to that, this has increased the spending habit of all of us. I can assure that almost all the participants here are finding that this UPI has made the transaction spending much easier. Because earlier you used to see if we open our purse to pay something, we see the balance there and we control our spending based on that. But now we don't see the balance every time. Only when amount is not debited, we check our balance and we understand that okay, I am not having sufficient fund. So what can be done? Especially, it will be a direct advice to all the people who are there in this meeting. So, what would be your advice to them to tackle the situation, or what guidance can you give to the young people to become financially independent? Because these are small atomic steps which will help them to make sure that they start their financial career with a proper base.
Yeah, sure. So, technology, I think it plays a very crucial role in all aspects of our life, and likewise, it can play a very important role in enhancing, financial literacy. You know, it can by making financial education more accessible, more engaging and personalized. So definitely, I think technology plays a very important role. So today we have numerous platforms, online courses and tutorials, which are there for free and they are affordable online courses. I mean, the no fee is charged. Uh, so there are websites like you can say Coursera, Udemy, all these websites and many other. I mean, they provide, I think they provide structured learning on many topics, including and budgeting, investing, managing debt, and so on and so forth. So it's a good way to learn. I mean, technology is giving us all of this. All this knowledge is there for us, free of cost, and also when we want, at our convenience, from our home, from our office, from library, wherever. Then there are financial apps like, Mint, Robinhood, and so on and so forth. Many other apps, multiple plethora of apps. So they also help us manage our finance, track spending. They help us in investment also. So these apps, they provide, I would say, educational resources and tips to improve our financial habits. Uh, you would have also seen many online calculators, and many of the websites, like for example, Money Control and so on and so forth, ET Wealth and all. So there are n number of online calculators. So these calculators and tools, they will help us. They help understand the complex financial concepts. For example, you will find a lot of retirement calculators, loan repayment calculators, investment growth calculators. If I invest this much, how much will it be? So many years, at what rate of interest, and so on and so forth. Um, there are also there are also some gamification platforms, platforms which use games to make learning about finance a more fun, a more engaging. Huh? So, like Habitica, financial literacy games. So it's very good. I mean, technology is really, a big boon to us, in every field, and so is improving the financial literacy. You'll find, you open websites of many NBFC companies, you'll find AI and chatbots now. And if you have questions about your requirement, about if you have any query about the product, which what path I should take. So, I mean, you have a helping hand there through AI and chatbots. Of course, we all know the about the WhatsApp University and also the social media and blogs. So I mean, people are stepping ahead. So I think technology is a big boon for us, and if we leverage these tools, I mean, we can easily gain the knowledge and skills which are essential to make informed financial decisions and improve our overall financial well-being. So I think this all of this comes for free to us. So better make the best use of our time through technology.
Sure, sir. That was indeed an insightful words of yours, which have given us a lot of thoughts. Sir, now I would like the audience to ask one or two questions so that we can make it an engaging platform. So, dear students, do you have any questions to ask with regards to financial literacy? Any doubts, any concerns that you have, which can be addressed in this platform? You
Excuse
can,
me, sir.
yeah, the Shakti Komal, I think. Yes, Shakti Komal, you can ask.
Sir, along with the Mint app, you had told about another app. Can you tell the name of the app again for financial?
Sorry.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, please tell me.
Sir, when you were talking about the apps for financial literacy, you told about Mint app, right, sir?
Mhm.
Yeah. Along with that, you had told about another app. Can you tell the name of the app again, sir?
So, like you can go for money control, you can go for ET Wealth. All these apps are there. There is also Robinhood is there. Uh, there is one which says YNAB. I mean, you need a budget. YNAB. So I think there are, and if you do some search, you do some research, I mean, you will come up with many such apps which are, and you can choose the one which you feel comfortable working with.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you, Shakti Komal. Is there anybody else with questions? You can either type in the chat box or you can
Sir, I guess there is already a question asked by Radhakrishna in the chat box. I will just repeat it. With the growing interest of ESG, environmental, social, and governance criteria, what challenges do you foresee for financial planners in integrating these factors into investment strategies?
So ESG is like I would say in India, I would say is a relatively new concept, and with each passing day, more and more clients, more and more investors have become or I would say they are moving towards being socially considerate, looking for investments in firms, in companies, in stocks, which are more considerate towards our environment, so social factors and all. And in India also, we are coming up with specific funds, specific products which are related to that. Abroad, of course, there are many such options available. So I feel that. In times to come, there'll be a good, not only a development of new products here in this sector, but also a lot of money which will move into this ESG sector.
yes, I think the questions are there. Yeah, Radhakrishna has replied as thank you. Thank you, sir, for answering his questions. Yes, as there's a limitations of time, let me we'll just conclude this sessions of sir. Thank you very much, sir, for spending your time. And I know that a person like you would be very much busy in your schedules, but coming here, spending this time with us to give us insights on the financial literacy on this auspicious day, which gives us a lot of information. So we are extremely grateful to you. And I request all the students to switch on your video and let us take a snap together as a remembrance. Okay, I request all of you to switching on your videos. Let's take a snap and then we'll continue. A few more to switch on their videos. We could get the screen full, and yes, so you can see that the crowd is entirely in their early 20s, the young generation who wanted to hear from you.
So all of these students are final year students, James?
Yeah,
Mostly
many
all?
of them are final years, and many of them are students who have graduated and
Okay.
they have started their working because for them it
Okay.
is to when they start their work, they are learning to save the money or invest in it.
Okay. Wonderful. Awesome.
Yeah, I hope the team has taken a snap. So thank you so much, sir, again for coming here and giving these valuable insights to the entire student
Thank
community
you.
here. And we hope that in future also we will come with such collaborations, which will give a lot of insights to the entire student community here. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, James. Thanks to you and thanks to my logic. And I wish all my student friends here a very, very happy, career ahead and wish them all the very best in all their future endeavors. Thank you so much, James. Bye-bye.
Dear students, now we would go to the next session of our webinar. I think the numbers have been down. It's just to keep informed, the session is not yet over. We are going to the next speaker of our day, that is Mr. Jeevan Jinjos. Mr. Jeevan is doing his MBA in the Indian Institute of Management, IIM Raipur, and specialized in general management. He's an ACC affiliate as well as who completed all his papers in his first attempt, and also bachelor degree of commerce from St. Aloysius University, and pursuing his CFA level 1, and also a person who have a good number of years experience in working with corporates like Deloitte, Goldman Sachs, and very skilled person in investment planning, financial analysis, and personal finance, and also with a strong academic and professional background in the finance and management. Now I welcome Mr. Jeevan. Hi, Jeevan. How are you?
Hi, James. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. I'm good. How are you? Am I
Yeah,
audible?
I'm good, sir. Yes, yes. So, considering the importance of this day and the experience that you had in terms of financial planning and financial literacy, so I would like you to ask a very, very similar problem or some question that all of us, those who are in the age of the early 20s, are asking. When it comes to managing the expenses, what practices or systems do you use, or what advice you can give for planning and controlling day-to-day expenses?
Expenses form a major part of our day-to-day life, right? There will be expenses such as buying small stuff such like snacks, or maybe major expenses like buying a bike. For that, this involves money, and for this money, you have to either fund it from yourself, or take a loan, or take from your parents. So, first of all, to understand financial literacy, I think Sir has already covered, but it has four aspects to it, which is savings, investment, managing expenses, and budgeting. These are the four main concepts, right? So, what happens is, since expenses is one of this part, we have to understand how the expenses are being incurred in our day-to-day life. We have to segregate it, we have to analyze it. And for this, we can, the first of all, what we have to understand is what is our expense patterns. For every person, has a different kind of expense pattern. Some of them would be thrift spenders who spend without thinking about it. Some of them have a specific plan, like this is how I am going to spend. These are the only things that I am going to buy, and these are the things that I'm never going to buy at all. So, when coming back to the question that how do you plan out your expenses? First of all, make a note of all of the expenses that you are incurring, segregate them into what kind of expense is it. It is a long-term expense or a short-term one. Like, is it a repetitive or if it is um, done for a longer period of time. So what you do is, for me, what I do is I actually make a note of all the different financial transactions that are going to like going on a daily basis, not to the specific like detail to the paisa that I'm spending, but on an overall level, like approximately how much am I spending on the food aspect of it or the transportation aspect of it, and that's how I understand what is my spending pattern. And then once I understand how much am I spending on what particular category, I can decide how much do I have to keep apart from my actual income or what my spending capacity for each of this aspect. So for me, it would be like how much should I keep apart for the food? How much should I keep apart for the transportation? These are the major two aspects that are coming to like relevant to me right now because I'm currently studying, and this would help me understand where am I overspending, if at all. Like I can understand from the pattern if I'm spending a lot in any of the particular aspect, then I can try to reduce those habits. So first of all, it's about cultivating a healthy habit. You have to understand what kind of habit do you have, and once you identify the habit, then you can take the corrective measures. So that's how you can understand how to correct, like control your spending or expenses.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeevan, on that. I would like to add on like a famous saying by Peter Drucker, what get measured gets done. Of course, measuring how much is our expenses would always help us to understand what is our spending pattern, and it will help us to make sure that we are having a control on ourselves in terms of finances. I would also like to share that I was also doing the same pattern of measuring my spending pattern, and after a year, I could understand from one tea shop, I was almost having 15,000 rupees tea or snacks or breakfast in a year. I was spending how much investment, like then I could really bargain to the customer, telling that I am one of your very big customer who is spending almost 15,000 rupees in a year. So that will give us insights. But these are small, small expenses. It can be only having a tea or having a small breakfast of less than 100. But together adding, this would be making it a very big amount that is enough for you to make a good investment. So coming to the
Yeah,
point, I would
this is
be
where Alok sir's point of taking data-driven decisions come into picture. We can think about it in a corporate aspect. This would be a skill that is very much required. But how do you practice it? You can't directly learn it on the job, right? If you practice it in personal life, you will be able to apply it in corporate life as well. And that's why you can tell, like, this is how I applied, this is what I learned. This is something that I could use. This is where I used data to actually help me better negotiate terms with the seller.
so. My next question is about the approach of savings and investments. So, do you follow any specific strategies or patterns or processes, and which is helping you to make informative decisions? So, what is that method that you follow or strategies that you follow?
So, for coming to savings and investment, both are synonymous but not same in the sense. Savings could be anything that you just keep your money in. You are just avoiding spending and you're keeping the money apart. So that could be as basic as keeping money in your wallet or keeping money in your savings bank account. Investment is something that has a goal behind it or a aim behind it. And this would be investing in stocks, mutual funds, or let's say FD, like fixed deposits, bonds, Any of these will come into the aspect of investment. Even buying a house or buying land, a real estate investment, all of these come into investment. So first of all, you have to identify what are you doing, what is your particular this thing, uh, but kind, or where are you keeping your money in. So saving could be without any goal. You're just keeping your money apart. Like as maybe few of us had a piggy bank when we were kids. So that did not give any returns to us, but we were still saving. We were avoiding spending. So how to go about investment or saving is a question mark for everyone. Like everyone wants to save, but then they don't know how to go about. How do I start? The starting point is a problem. And everywhere when you take the first step, the rest of the things falls into place. It's always the first step that is a major problem. So first of all, you have to understand uh, there is one of the major, what do you say, framework, 50 30 20 rule, where if you're earning 100 rupees, 50 should be kept apart for your normal spending, your needs. 30 should be kept apart for your wants, that is uh, something that you desire but you can survive without. And 20% of your income should be going into saving or investment. For me personally, when I started earning, I was saving up to 40% of my income because I knew I could cut down on my needs or desires, sorry, wants. And needs I have to meet, so I had to keep about the 60% to actually meet needs like rent or the food requirement and the stay when I was working. So I had planned and controlled it because starting early is always better. If you look at if you're aware of the compounding principle, the earlier you start saving, you get to take advantage of the compounding effect where your money earns for yourself, right? And the investment, as I said, has a goal behind it, and that is where smart goals come into picture. So an investment can be driven by two things. It can be either driven by income or by goal. Income driven is you are earning, let's say, salary of 30,000, 40,000 a month, and you, after spending everything, after paying your rent or buying the grocery, everything, out of the 40,000 you are able to keep you need only 25,000. Remaining 50,000 is still with you, and you don't know what to do with it. Keeping it in a savings bank account will give you mostly 3 to 4% of interest. That's very low because it's lesser than the inflation rate. So then you decide where to put it. You either put it into a mutual fund or stocks or bonds or anything. That would be income driven investment. The second type is goal oriented. Goal oriented is where you already know this is what I want to achieve. Like, let's say 5 years down the line, I want to buy a house, or 2 years down the line, I want to buy a bike. So I know there is a goal associated with the investment, and that's where I decide. So one of my personal example would be I started working in 21, and I knew by 22 I wanted to buy a bike for myself. And I knew I would be going for a 150cc bike, which had a cost of around 1.2 or 1.1 to 1.2. Adjusted for inflation of 1 year, maybe it would turn to 1.3. So I knew I had to save 1.3 lakhs after 1 year, like up to 1 year later. So then that was my goal, specific goal, right? So there I decided that I want to achieve 1.3 lakhs in 1 year later. So what I did is I understood my goal. Then I had to decide how do I reach that goal financially. So then I started saving up certain amount of money in mutual funds so that in the form of SIP on a monthly SIP basis, which helped me reach that goal. I started saving up, I think around 5,000, 10,000. Yeah, started saving around 10,000. I said, right, 40,000, my 15,000 was my saving. So in that 10,000 went to specifically the mutual fund that was associated to the goal of buying the bike. In that way, I was able to self fund my purchase of bike instead of just keeping the particular amount in a savings bank account. So that's how. And when it comes to goal, it should be you can follow the SMART framework. It should be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So my goal of buying a bike was specific. It was measurable that I need 1.3 lakhs to buy that particular bike. It was attainable because with the given income that I was earning, with the current saving that I had, I could attain it. It was realistic because it was after 1 year, not like I'm earning 40,000 per month and I'm buying the bike in the next 2 months. That wouldn't be realistic. I wouldn't be able to meet that particular need. And it is time bound. I said that my aim is to buy that bike in 1 year. So you can follow the same framework when you're going for it. Another example would be making a house like 5 years or 10 years down the line. You would know like it would cost, if you're constructing a house, it would be 30, 40 lakhs. Or if you're buying a flat, depending on where you are, there is a price range. So you would be able to ascertain a particular time and a rate. And here you can use the models that Alok sir had mentioned, that the SIP calculator or particular future value calculators that are available online freely, or you can also employ Excel. So that's how you can plan out your savings and investment, and you can decide how much do you have to save.
So thank you, Shivan, for that insight. Well, I think many of you would be very eager to understand how that works because getting a bike at the age of 22 or 23 and without any loans, it's somewhat unachievable in one sense, actually. But as you see, with a proper goal setting and a proper discipline, maybe we can make it as a proper financial discipline, we would be able to achieve those goals, which at one point of view may be very impossible. Thank you, Jeevan, for this wonderful insight. And my next question is, what does your investment portfolio look like? And what inspired you to start investing?
That is, yeah. Yeah. So coming to my investment portfolio, I have so there is this Warren Buffett saying, "Don't keep all of your eggs in one basket." Right? I'm not sure. I think it is Warren Buffett, but you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to diversify, and that was my main motto since I started itself. So I started with mutual funds because first of all, it gives you a diversified uh, uh, this thing approach. Because first of all, the mutual fund itself invests in multiple companies. So I started with mutual funds, but at the same time, I also dabbled into stocks. So those two form my major for part of the portfolio. But I did not stop myself there because equity is not the only way. You have to also like we were when I started, it was the COVID period, and that those were uncertain times. So I wanted some exposure to gold as well, but I did not believe in physical gold. So I bought something called as sovereign gold bonds. These are bonds issued by the RBI, which are backed by gold. The bond rate fluctuates on the basis of the gold rate, and you also get a particular interest on it. So these three, and then I also invested in public provident fund, which is a part of my retirement portfolio. Like it has a lock-in period of 15 years, but then it is a small component because I said, like I said, it's a taking advantage of the compounding effect. I start at the age of 22. I will be retiring by the age of 56 or 60. I have 40 years down the line. And even if I put 500 rupees right now and then step up to 1,000, 5,000 as I go ahead, I would be able to make a big, huge corpus because of the rate of interest that is given. At the same time, it's not the only part of my retirement portfolio. I'm also taking advantage of the equity part where I'm putting into index funds. So in mutual funds also, I have put into multiple ones depending on the theme or the particular aim that I have. I've taken index fund, I've taken small cap, large cap, mid cap funds. Then on the basis of theme that I had researched and analyzed, I thought this particular industry is something that I want an exposure to, but I don't want to buy a specific company alone. So I took a thematic mutual fund, which is focused on, for me personally, it's not an advice, but I took 2 years, 3 years back. So maybe that time the list was more lucrative. So that time I took IT based theme fund, thematic fund. Then there was an infra based and there was a pharma based. So these are the major components of my portfolio, and these have been performing fairly well. I can't say that well as well. If you have were an active investor, maybe you could have earned better. But then another example comes to my mind where, again, Warren Buffett, he mentioned if you make a monkey choose stocks at random, that would outperform a lot of actively managed hedge funds. So some of these passive investing ideologies have inspired me, and that's where philosophies of investment come into picture. There are multiple philosophies that are there prominent, which would be value investing, growth investing, risk management, asset allocation. So I am more of a passive investor, and that's where my major portfolio comprises of.
Yeah, thank you, Jivan sir. I believe students, you would be able to understand the shortcome or the shortcut of becoming a crorepati at a very young age by having making use of all the financial strategies, investment strategies, and leveraging compounding part out of it. Yeah. Let me share some of my experience with the next question. So recently, I was bystander of my friend who was having a fever, dengue, and we were going fine. And after the discharge, we could see the hospital bill was maybe twice his salary. So, on that, Jivan sir, I would like to ask, how do health and life insurance plays a role in securing both short-term well-being and long-term financial stability for individuals and their families? Because the common concept is that insurance is not total coming picture when it comes to a financial planning or when it comes to an investment. So, what is your say on that? We would like to hear from
Yes. Before that, could you just give me 2 minutes? There's a drop in my battery percentage. I'll just keep it for charge. Just give me 2 minutes.
you. Yeah. Okay. No issues, sir. So, students, as do you have any questions to ask, sir? You can start putting in your chat box so that by the time he comes back, we will be able to ask him few more questions. And of course, as investments plays a great role, and as students, as people who have started in our working phase, we would have to learn more about how to strategize this because all of us like to be rich. No, is there anybody who don't want to be rich? No, of course, the final objective of all of us studying, working is to earn money and to spend it the most efficient manner, so that we would be always having enough and more finance to ensure that everything that we have is taken care. So you can put our questions or you can just share it with me here so that I can ask Shivan sir once as the next question. So you can unmute and then speak. Anyone? I hope I am audible. Students, I hope I am audible. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. So if you have any questions, you can speak or you can just put it in the chat box. We can speak on that.
Sir, I have one question. Sir, in the
Like,
conversation you have mentioned the investment or the portfolio about the things about that. So, when do you think is the right time to start a investment portfolio, sir?
yes, we will wait for Jivan sir's response on that. But personally, so I am a person who have started my investment at the age of 20, during my second year of or third year of graduation, where even though I did not start to earn anything, but the importance or the time that we have to learn more will help us to get a good foundation in our investment. So there is no time of when do we start. We have to start at the earliest so that we can reap the benefit the more. So one of our candidate was asking, what is the right time to start investments? I would like to get your views on that.
Thank you, James, for handling the situation. And yeah, I heard the question, Ravind. I'll come to that. Can we take that question at the end when we are going to the question answer session? Would that work, Ravind?
Sure, sir, no problem.
Yeah, yes. Thank you. So we were dealing with health and life insurance, right? So there is a okay. This is my personal opinion. Don't quote me anywhere. But personally, like. Personally, I don't categorize in the insurance as an investment. It is a financial decision, but it's not an investment. But there are different investment insurance companies which sell insurance as if it is an investment, right? So insurance is primarily a expense that you have to incur so that it can cover for your future expenses, and that's where it should form a part of your financial plan. It is, and I think major of the financial planners will make insurance as a part of your. It won't be a part of your portfolio, but it will be part of your financial plan. So what happens is there are two types of major types of insurance when it comes to a person, right? The one is health insurance, second is life insurance. Health insurance should be able to cover your medical requirement, which would be arising out of unplanned occurrences such as maybe some health issues, maybe some accident, or anything like James mentioned the example of him standing by one of his friends. Where they had to spend a lot of double of their income per month for a medical bill. If you have an health insurance, it will be able to cover that particular expense. Maybe you're spending out like 1,000, 2,000 um, of your monthly salary to get that health insurance cover. But then if the expense comes to 1 lakh, 2 lakh, it would be able to cover that. And that's where starting early also impacts your insurance decision, because as you grow grow up, as you age, to be put better, as you age, the risk increases, the natural risk increases. And since the risk increases, the underwriters or the insurance companies start charging a higher premium. But if you start early, you would be able to lock in a particular premium, thereby making, even though you will be starting early and you will be paying 1,000 per month, it would be better than paying when you start at age of 20, you might be paying 1,000, 2,000 per month as an insurance amount for health insurance. But if you go to, when you go to an insurance agent and ask for an health insurance at the age of 30, they might say that they might quote you at 5,000, 6,000 per month. And that is because as you age, the risk of health risks increase, and you should be insuring yourself as early as possible if you start earning. And one of the things is health insurance normally provided by corporates. When you join, major corporates normally insure their employees, but there is a drawback to that, and most of us don't think about it. One of the drawback is that if you leave the company, the health insurance cuts there and then and there. And there the issue is, if you try to get an insurance at the age, like say, let's say you started working at the age of 23. You start working at the age of 23, you think that, yeah, my company is insuring me, I don't have to take an health insurance. What happens is, let's say you leave the job at 27, and you there is a buffer period to get a new job, and that time you need a health insurance. You think that I'm not insured, health is something that you want to cover for, and that time when you go to take a personal health insurance, you would be paying the premium at the rate of someone who's aged at 27, right? And that would increase the premium. And here, depending on companies, corporate insurance policies would be a drawback, right? Having even though they have a insurance, you should also have a personal insurance, right? And there are different types of health insurances. You can reach out to your insurance advisor for that. And the same logic applies to life insurance as well. You would be able to take a like depending on your income base, you'll be able to take a cover of as good as 1 crore, 2 crore at a cost of like 900, 1000 rupees per month. This is a term insurance specifically, right? So this is why I would always advise to start early and don't look at insurance as an investment. Term insurance does not give you anything back. Only if you die, your dependents get the this thing, the insured amount, right? And one of the key proxy or multiplier that you can use when you're choosing what type of, like, one of the main confusions that you get is how much should I insure myself for? So there you can take a multiplier of 10 times your annual salary, because once you pass away, the insurance amount should be able to sustain your dependence and for the initial shock, right? So if you are earning 10 lakhs per month, sorry, per year, your insurance amount should be able to should be covering 1 crore, 10 times of 10 lakhs. Sometimes it's also suggested to take 20 times your annual salary, but you can keep this as a rule of thumb, like take 10 times or 20 times your annual salary as your insured amount. And there are various types of life insurances offered, like ULIP, endowment funds, or there are various aspects. You can go to any insurance company's website, you can see different categories, and these would be linked to investment as well. Sometimes it's a money back policy, but if you look at the nitty-gritties of it, or if you go into putting your money there thinking that you can get money back if you stay alive, it will be a huge cost to you, because it would be giving you as low as 4%, 5% interest. If you think, if you manually calculate it, they would be presenting it as 8%, 9% growth rate, but you have to read the fine print to understand that it could also go down as 3%, 4%. So when you're taking in insurance, like life insurance, go for term insurance. That's the preferable method, and that's why it does not ideally form a part of your investment. Like James asked in the question, it does not formally part of your investment, but it is a key part of your financial plan.
Yes, thank you, Stephen, on that. And a last question from my part was, what is the impact of credit card or debt on personal finance in India, especially in the introduction of RuPay credit cards has made our spending pattern go at the double speed? And how can individuals manage it effectively?
Yes, I think Alok sir also answered this beautifully. And you also pointed out the rate of growth of UPI in India, which is also triggered by RuPay. Like RuPay is able to integrate that UPI framework, and transactions are going routed through UPI. So it is increasing the credit card usage in India. And if you look at Indian economy as such, or let's compare it to American economy. American economy is a consumption-driven economy. There, people use a lot of their spending on the basis of credit card, and that's where you see the pay parity or the level of discrepancy on the top and the bottom part of that economy in America is very high. The divergence is very high because a lot of people spend money that they don't have, and this is facilitated by credit cards. And credit card companies end up earning a lot of money in this, because if they are like the users are not able to pay back, they go into a revolving credit, and this particular behavior or habit is trying to be replicated in India as well, because India has, we are a saving mentality people. As a historically, if you see, we are always thinking about few FD or what is the rate of interest. How do I have to buy gold to save up? So all of this is what was ingrained in our minds. But as you see, the newer generation, they are more into thrift spending, fast fashion. All of these are drivers of consumption economy, and this is being facilitated by credit card, which is boosting the economy and GDP in a way, but at what cost? People are, and credit card is helpful, it's a good infrastructure. But as individual consumers, on an aggregate level, it is a good facilitator. But as individual user, it is impacting each of our lives individually. And if you are not uh, closely monitoring your credit card usage, you will end up in a huge debt. And this is where companies like Cred and all are thriving. They are giving you notifications like this is your credit card bill is due this much. We'll give you incentive to pay it on time. And even then, people start missing, and then it affects your credit score. So as credit card is becoming a part and parcel of our life, you have to closely monitor your usage. And here you can see, like James mentioned, since UPI came into our lives, we are just spending directly and we are debiting a bank account without keeping a track of how much money is being spent in a month. So same thing is being facilitated by credit card as well. And this is where our focus and our mindset comes into picture, where we uh, have to closely monitor where am I spending, how much am I spending, why am I spending like this. Is having a credit card or a purchasing power facilitating over purchasing or over consumption or overspending. So all of this has to be, and it comes to your individual level. You have to have put in systems where you can monitor these spendings closely. And one of the key apps or system that I use is Excel or Money Manager. It's like a wallet that keeps a track of all of your expenses, be it through bank account or your credit cards. But credit cards are not as bad as it is said as well, because they have huge benefits coming into picture. You should uh, take advantage of those as well.
Yes, thank you indeed. That reminded of me of my due credit card amount, and I just paid. Thank you, Jeevan, for
I
the
apologize, I
reminder.
can't
I
hear you.
think. Hello. Now, am I audible? Hello. Now, am I audible?
Hello,
Others?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, Jeevan. Now, am I audible? Hello.
hello.
Yes,
I'm
sir,
sorry,
you're
I
audible.
can't
Can
hear
you
you.
hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
James,
Yes,
could
sir,
you
you're
Hello.
try
audible.
speaking now?
James, sir, you're audible.
Yes.
Yes, works.
Yes. Okay.
Was I not?
So
Did I break off in between?
no, 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 no. It was completely audible. Uh, so thank you, Jivan, for giving this insights. It made, I think, many of the participants to just check in their mobile and see whether there is any due amount to be paid to the credit card. I think I am also one of them. So now let me go to the questions that the students were asking. So one of the students was asking, it is said that the corporate world is designed in a way that if one works for more than 6 years, beginning with a less than 12 lakh per annum, they can't save anything. Is that true? Or if not, can you tell why it is not true? Whether package matters or the people matters?
Yeah, it for me personally, that wouldn't be true because uh, maybe because it I am saying this from a biased perspective where I've seen people around me who were able to save up even though they were earning as less as 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs per year. And you're talking about 12 lakhs per annum, which is 1 lakh per month. How would you spend 1 lakh per month? I come from a middle class background. Maybe that's why I'm not able to relate to it. But let's see. For more beginning with less than 60, 12 lakhs. Uh, People start with 3.5 lakhs, 4 lakhs here in India. And yeah, there would be expenses, maybe education loan expense or like other debt that you have to pay off. But still, it's I personally do not know if it is unsustainable with 12 lakhs per month per year. Let's put all them to a monthly basis, 1 lakh per month. What would be your primary expenses? Your rent, your groceries, your travel, your I can think these are the primary expenses. Other than these could take even in the metro city, this could take like 40,000, 50,000. The remaining 50,000, if you're spending on anything, even if your EMIs come down to 10,000 or 20,000, still there are 30,000 left, right? 50,000 for your needs, 30,000 for your wants. Now, still 20,000 is left. I don't know if you're not able to save that much. It doesn't on the question if I'm understanding or interpreting it correctly or not. Uh,
I think maybe because the perception of how to use the salary that you get would also understand and would make a great difference in people because it's not about 1 lakh, it's not about 10,000. It's how independent you should be or how disciplined you should be in terms of finance. You
yes. And coming back to Arvind's question, could you repeat that? Maybe we should take that first because that was
Yes,
unclear.
sir. My question was, when is the right time to start the investment?
Yeah. Like James said, there's no right time to invest when as early as possible because time value of money is something. If you all are trying to take CFP, I think all of you all are going forward towards CFP or courses like CMA, CPA. You will learn one of the basic concepts of finance is time value of money, and it takes into aspect of the compounding formula. So it is as early as possible, and if you have the disposable income that you can put into investment, and it still matters if you are wary of it, you start with a small amount, as small as 500,000, because mutual funds are available at 500 rupees, 100 rupees per month, or per investment of 100 rupees also. You can try because the starting first step, like I said in the beginning, the first step is the main issue for most of us. And taking that first step will help us realize what is our risk appetite or what is stopping us from going forward in investing. And there is no way to specifically or perfectly time the market, right? Even going specifically to the stocks example, even you can see historically if you might have an hindsight bias where looking at from today's perspective, you might think that if I had invested in Tata Motors in 2020 or 2021, I would have gotten that for like 200, 100 rupees or 400 rupees. And right, like I could have done that. There would be a regret coming in, right? So, but you can start now, and if the company is good, it will grow, right? It was 300 that time, it's 700 now. It is 700 now, it could go to 1,000 later. So there is not like you can't try to time the market. It's more about your purchasing power. How much do you have? And never try to take loan or leverage to fund your investment because investment is risky in itself. And if you are not able to get a particular proper return from that investment, you will have a debt on your back of your head, and you won't have any money from the investment as well. So even though I suggest that it's on the basis of your purchasing power, don't try to get some loan debt to fund your investment. And as far as timing goes, as early as possible. Does that answer your question sufficiently, Arvind?
So one more question, I think we can take it as a final question. As a student or and working employee, it is very really or it's really hard to manage expenses. So is there any trick or formula that you have used in these situations through investments?
Yeah, this is the situation that I'm going through right now with no income but a lot of expenses. Not a lot of expenses. Um, yeah. So there is one of the things. Main thing that you can do is cut your costs. Cut your costs on unnecessary spendings on Amazon, Flipkart, whatever. Like you can survive without. Because as a student, you won't have any income. You will be depending on your parents or your loan. Um, like you don't have any cash coming in, so how would you able to sustain the spending habits that you have? Only spend on the things that you need to basically sustain on. That's the thing that I did. But maybe yeah, the underlying question of your like underlying thing in your question is how can we leverage investing or how can we advantage of the stock markets to get a side income. See, it is a risky bet to take trading or short-term investment, swing positions in stocks, right? You might start trying with 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, but even if you get a 10%, 20% return on it, you'll be earning low as what, 200, 100. So you can try, but this will go into your learning cost rather than a side income because you don't, we as students, we do not have a huge fund or capital to invest into the stock markets to get sufficient returns that can sustain our habits or our spending habits, right? But still, you can start. So the straightforward answer to your question is there is no shortcut to uh, trying to sustain your spending habits through any other investing methods. It should be more of a goal-oriented approach rather than trying to take investing as a method to fund your short-term usage or short-term costs or recurring expenses.
Yeah, with this, we'll be concluding these sessions. And yeah, Jivan sir, it was indeed a great opportunity for all of us to be here to hear your valuable insights on financial literacy, financial planning, and so on. So, dear students, I request all of you to switch on your video and let us make a snap picture on this day.
Thank you, James, for this wonderful opportunity. And it was great speaking to you all. If you have any other specific questions, I'm available on LinkedIn. You can just connect me through that, and I will be happy to answer you. Thank you.
Dear students, can you switch on your camera? And we'll take a quick snap and then we'll conclude the sessions. A few more to switch on their videos so that we can start taking a few more. Praveen, Sandra, Vaishnavi, Rinda. Yes, I think we have taken a snap. So thank you again to all of you, all the students, all the faculties, all my logic team who have organized this, and especially to you, Jivan sir, for finding time to manage, come here and take up a beautiful webinar to all the students. And I believe that this session greatly helped you to make up a planning on your finance because it is very important. So these are the shortcuts. Maybe this sessions would be a shortcut which will help you to become a millionaire in a short bit of time. So we would be having this kind of sessions in the future with many people like Jeevan sir, like Alok sir. So stay tuned for more sessions and encouraging sessions, informative sessions like this. So see you next time. Till then, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.